Alright, so here's something pretty cool that I've been experimenting with, and that's firing clay in a grill. So I'm just using wood. What I've been doing is I've been making bread on this grill pretty much every day, and I've just been getting wood and starting a fire at the bottom and letting it heat up. I did some test pieces with some clay that I dug up from the farm. I was able to fire it in the grill, and then I thought of maybe firing something bigger, which I did. And now I just want to show you guys the process. So if you're cooking something while you're doing this, then you get even more of a benefit out of it. But usually the first day, I'll start up a fire, I'll cook my bread, and I'll keep my pottery pieces on the outskirts of the fire. So like the fire's in the middle, then my pottery piece goes either on the left or the right side. And usually I try and put it on the left side here because there's a vent that pulls air in and up and out of the top here. So this, I feel like, gets more even heating. So I'll keep my pieces here the first day, and I'll just let them wick and then, or candle, and then the next day I'll make another loaf of bread and I will sit these here again on the left, or they'll still be staying there on the left. I'll start up the fire again, and after it's come down to like a coal bed, that's usually after I've fired my bread, it'll be a coal bed, and I'll open up the coal bed and I'll put these in the middle, and then I'll keep the coal bed around it, and it's kind of like a pit fire. I'll just keep adding more wood around the sides, and the benefit is I can close this top and I can still get a natural draft, so it's still burning that wood on the inside and really holding in the heat. And yeah, that's really how I fire it. So I'll go through that, and hopefully you guys can get some benefit from it. So this is the first day, and right now all I'm doing is wicking these pots. These have already dried. These are bone dry right now, and I just let them sit out in the sun to bone dry. And today I'm gonna wick them, so I won't put them directly onto the flame or onto a coal bed, but they'll be getting a lot of that indirect heat. And if your flame gets too high while you're cooking and it starts touching the pot, just close the lid down, and that'll kind of smother the fire a little bit, so it won't pull as much. And yeah, that's pretty much day one. All right, so we're maybe 30 minutes in, and I can already see that it's starting to absorb some smoke on this side. What you can do, like how you would do in a pit fire, is you would just rotate. So just lift it up, rotate the other side towards the fire. Dude, oh man. Rotate all that. And all you're doing is making sure that your fire stays lit below. I'm keeping the lid open right now, which really you'd want to have this as closed as possible so that it can get evenly heated, but I've tempered it pretty well, so it should be okay. And all you're doing is just letting this slowly heat up. You're not going to fire it today. The next day that you get on the grill and make whatever, that's when you'll fire it. And everything seems to be going good right now. Oh yeah, I do have this pot down here. That was from a few days ago when I made some bread, and you can tell that it's fully absorbed all the smoke. That one's going to be fired today. After I get done cooking this bread, I'm just going to open this fire up, put that in the middle of it, add some more sticks and pieces of log and stuff like that on top of it and around it. And it'll already be at temp to do that by the time this gets done firing, or by the time this gets done cooking. And yeah, I'll have a fully finished pot fired from 2 days of cooking. All right, so after I made my loaf of bread, take the pan off, and I separate the coals into 2 halves. Half over here and a half over here, and now I'm building them up slowly. And I put my pot that I want to fire today in the middle, and the one that's going to be wicking is going to be on top right here. And you can tell it's starting to get even more discolored, starting to absorb even more smoke or carbon, and that's what gives it that darker effect, which also means it's also getting up to temp around 700 degrees Fahrenheit, which means that it should be, for the most part, done wicking, but I'm gonna let it go throughout the entire process. And yeah, I'll show you the finished result. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a little experiment and see if I can fire it in the same day that it's also wicked. So the great part about this is that I can just close this and walk away and really not have to worry about anything. I've got the bottom pot fully engulfed, and now this top pot here that's been wicking for about 2 hours is now getting some direct heat from the flame. And we'll just see how that goes. I would really love it if everything could fire same day. So that pan will be, this bread pan right here will be kind of like a test piece almost. So hopefully it'll work. I'm just gonna see if it can fire on top of the grate as well. I'm not gonna put it down into the coal. So I'll show you the final results here in a few. I'll probably walk away for 2 or 3 hours. I'm gonna go get something to eat, and I'll be back. All right, so I just took out this pot right here, and I ended up putting that bread pan in there. Just covered it with some more wood, and this one seems to have fired pretty well. It's still pretty warm, but color's starting to come out now that it's oxidizing, and yeah, it's looking pretty nice. Has a good sound to it, and really I think that's just as good of a firing as doing it in the kiln. So hope you guys got something out of this. I'm gonna see if I can fire this one in 1 day, so stay tuned for that. Still hasn't exploded, and there are no visible cracks that I can see. So I'm thinking that this will be good. I'm gonna try and get this all together as much as I can. By that I mean I'm just gonna move around the wood here, get it as close to the pot as possible without trying to damage it. And make sure there's a flame still going. And just periodically check on it while it's firing. I'm gonna close this, but I'm gonna leave a little gap by using this guy right here. And hopefully that'll give it more airflow. That plus airflow from the bottom here. That should give it enough to keep going while I walk away from this for, you know, however long I want to. Should all stay contained inside. All right, this is the finished result. Doesn't look too bad. Seems to be fired pretty well, but I think I saw a crack somewhere. Yeah, a crack down in the bottom, and that could just be from handling it, holding it at the edge a certain way, and maybe cracking this. But overall, fired pretty well. I'm gonna test this thing out.